Welcome, WildTurtle and Revenge. You guys are the first guests to the SoloQ Super Show. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Feeling great.
Good. I saw you guys just play some SoloQ games. Perfect timing. That's what we're here for. How did that go, Jason? I know you had some choice words.
Yeah, I had an interesting game. I had Shaco and Jan on my team. And it really felt like late game we weren't able to hit any champions. I was playing Jinx. And I didn't auto-type many times.
Look at that, guys. Jason could not win on his signature pick.
I had a 100% win rate before that game, though.
Yeah, at Season 10, win rates have been some hot discussion. I'm not going to lie.
Well, you guys are also having a new CEO. For speaking of new things, you guys have Trisha Shugita as your CEO. Is there anything change for you guys?
I mean, I haven't been here too long, but from what I've seen, Trisha, before she was a CEO, has been doing like way above and beyond her job, and that alone has just been like really nice to see, because I've been really new into esports and I just didn't really know what management does in an esports team, but she's just gone above and beyond, and she well deserved the promotion to CEO.
Nice. And then you also have Ryan Edens as president. Does that change anything for you? Because you'd been here longer, so you'd know more about Trish and Ryan's relationship.
I think the operations are going to be moving a lot more smoothly now. I think in the past, like, some things were kind of slow with FlyQuest, and it kind of took us like a while to get things we needed, like PCs, etc. But I think now everything is going to move along a lot faster, considering we have an office space now. And I think that's really big moving forward. And hopefully this is the year of FlyQuest and LCS.
Yeah, you guys have it's the greenhouse. That's where we're at. Just an entire complex dedicated to saving the planet via esports and games. Is that kind of the style?
We're a space shuttle hub.
You have plastic cups, though.
No, they are, what were they? Biodegradable?
Biodegradable cups are actually made of like starch and some other
Corn
materials
starch
that are degradable. And
so if you drink enough water from this, you can actually taste the corn, I think.
You could tell me anything about those cups and no one would be able to verify them, so I'll still just believe you.
Yeah, well.
Wow, those taste like corn chips, actually.
Yeah, but we're a go green lifestyle.
Okay.
FlyQuest now,
so you guys are
honestly,
going green.
I'm gonna be honest. We're still trying to figure that out, because a lot of players, I'm not gonna say who, are using plastic cups still.
Ooh.
Or plastic bottles, water bottles.
I mean, here I got a metal one right here.
You got a metal one right here. I might be a culprit because I don't have mine on hand, but
well, he gets to reuse that, so he gets to use less cups by having a metal one.
I have a plastic cup, plastic.
Make sure you speak a little bit closer. We can't hear you.
Sorry. I have a plastic bottle cup. I can grab it, but not right now. I'm sitting and I'm comfortable.
Well, now that we've gotten the bottle formalities out of the way, I'm playing SoloQ, and I've been playing SoloQ for maybe more than 10,000 games in my whole life.
Yes.
Hit rank 1. Multiple of us here have hit the highest of ranks.
I remember.
True.
I remember Crumbz Jacks.
Yes. We've got hundreds of too much time on our hands. And I got to ask you one question. How many games is too much? When the season has just started, but when you look at somebody, say, right now, and they already have 150 games played, what do you think? Is that a no-life? Is that a problem?
No,
Does that degrade their LP?
No, that guy's he's living a good life, I think. If he has maybe 200 games, he might be no-lifing a little bit. But 150, understandable. I can play 150.
I hit 1,000 last year, and I had a full-time job. Is that a problem?
No.
I didn't know a single other player that hit, a pro player that did that.
There was a lot of pros that hit.
No other pro. I guarantee I had more games played.
Okay. Well, what do you think about that? No.
I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of pros aren't really grinding SoloQ that hard. I know there's a few. I mean, there's some that definitely are grinders, especially during the season. But it's like, it depends on like when their scrims ended and stuff last season. But on the off season, yeah, there weren't that many LCS pros grinding too much SoloQ. So I definitely believe that you could have ended more games than some pros.
But what elo were you though?
I ended in Master, sadly. I hit GM. I hit GM, but I kept playing and lost it all.
But let's say I played 200 games and I'm Challenger.
Yeah.
True.
Who had more fun? So I think that this is exactly where I want us to be we're diving into why is it that some people don't want to play more SoloQ and some others, because you guys are pros. Your job depends on your skill, so you treat SoloQ as a place where you want to develop most of your skills, right? That's how you got into being a pro in the first place. But then there's people like me. I'm showing up half the time playing a fill role, playing new champions, might be drunk, might be stoned, might be a mix. I'm not giving it my all. I am not interested in being a pro, but yet I am still playing in the same games. How do you guys deal with that? Because I think that's part of the problem, where it's not the same players having the same intention in one game.
To me, I kind of feel like there just isn't that many like dedicated players in high elo where they're like complete tryhards. They try hard like every game. And I think that's like, I mean, there is some players, like, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the pool is like a lot smaller than let's say like Europe or Korea. I feel like they have like way more tryhard players. They probably have like 300 tryhard players. And North America, I can maybe name like 20 players that I think try really hard every game. 30? Maybe. Like at least in SoloQ players, like excluding the pros, you know.
Would you consider yourself a try-hard SoloQ player?
Occasionally. I mean, there are some games where I'm like not try-harding, but I do try hard for the most part. I'm 300 LP right now, not too low.
Would having a Discord for you to invite randoms from SoloQ into your own game be the ultimate try-hard? Because if I really wanted to win, I think that's how far I would go.
Yeah, I think that would be the ultimate try-hard. I honestly, I think I'm a fan of like having voice comms in League, like just like straight up just like clicking a button and just joining voice comms and just like talking to your teammates. I feel like that's cool. Like, I'm not a huge fan of like externally just like inviting someone in like a Discord, make a group and like start playing. I'd rather just like click a button and talk to my teammates.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I don't think like voice comms in League is ever gonna progress to that point. Like if I join a SoloQ Champ Select and someone I don't really recognize just posts a Discord link in the chat and goes, "Yo, come join my chat. Let's all Discord." It's like, I think to all my other teammates, I'm like, no one's gonna click that link, and then no one clicks the link. But it's like, okay, if there was just like a way I could just join in, and it's like, Riot's just kind of like added it in the client. It's like, okay, maybe I'll join and see what's up. Maybe I won't though. Maybe some games I don't think that the players that I'm with, I'd want to use comms with, and I think that's okay. I don't think like comms are needed to make every game full tryhard. I think you could still try hard without comms, but as long as you're communicating within the game. But I just think as long as everyone has the goal to like want to win and like play their best to win, then every solo queue game will be a higher quality in general.
What's a quality solo game to you then?
At least like if everybody's on roll, that's one. There aren't any one tricks in the game, especially on like champs like Shaco or Rengar or champs or like Darius that are kind of like, I don't want to say they're free wins because they're not, but it changes the state of the game to be more like a fiesta kind of, and because that's how those champions thrive, and that's fine. I mean, that's their win condition, but it's like, if I'm trying to practice most efficiently to be a pro player, I don't want to be versing Shaco or Talon every game, for example. It's like, so my most ideal game would be like some pro players on my team and the enemy team, everybody on roll at least. And it's like, okay, this is going to be like a legit game where if I'm feeding, like there's a chance that maybe somebody else can carry, in the game. It's not like the whole game isn't just like, okay, if I lose and the people on my team who are like one tricks or like, versing other pro players and they're not pro players and they just get stomped, like, okay, well, the game's just instantly lost, It's kind of nice where, everyone feels like they're on an equal playing ground. Like, it's grim.
So you feel like the matchmaking is the biggest thing for you to have a good game?
Yeah, kind of.
Probably, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it's more than just matchmaking, though. It's something like, if I'm thinking like a fix by Riot or like a specific thing, it's that Riot can even do it. It's just kind of like the overall pool of players I'm playing with, like I said, one tricks versus like just tryhards, like we were talking about. It's kind of hard to like come across that, in my opinion, if it's not a pro player.
So we were just talking about one tricks, where you were saying that people were better at League when there were no one tricks, or where it was promoted for you that, sorry, not promoted, where you couldn't just pick one role and stick to that role or champion and dodge, or just find a way to not lose that much LP where you might be placed into a different role that you're not used to. And if you're not good, you're just going to run it down. Whereas now you can just dodge out of it. Is that going to be affecting the solo queue as well, as much as you were suggesting?
Personally, I think dodging isn't like that big of a deal, like maybe like diamond and under, but like high elo, like dodging is like a strategy. Like if you have a comp that like you think is just bad, and the enemy team has like OP champions like Akali, Aphelios, something like that, that game's a dodge. Like no one's gonna play that game out, and it's understandable. But I feel like there should be like, I don't know, something like a punishment for dodging or something like that. I really don't know, because like dodging is an abused mechanic by high elo players.
So you guys play high elo though, because to me it sounds like most of your problems are coming from champion select, where you're having one tricks where you don't like what the compositions look like, or when you're looking at who you're up against and you're like, oh, this is unfair. Like they have pro player bottom lane, I'm here top lane playing against a Darius one trick. My impact is diminished. If the champion select was figured out where no one tricks, equal skill on both sides, the outcome wouldn't matter to you guys. You'd be fine with that.
Mm-hmm. I actually really felt that way like back in like season 1, season 2, where every time I queued up for a game, I kind of like the skill level of the games I felt like were really, really close, and yeah, I just felt like they were really close. Like everyone was like around the same elo, and you would just play games or like at the given skill level. And right now I feel like I can have games that are like good and bad. And it's just good and bad games. It's just nothing like in the middle, where I always feel like kind of comfortable like in these games. And I felt like when I was climbing like season 2 and 3, I would have like 2300 elo, which is like the equivalent to like maybe like diamond or something like that. But I always felt like the skill level was like the matchmaking wasn't unbalanced at all. Like I felt like every game was like everyone's finding really hard to win these games.
I think back then people wanted to win more, maybe just because it was so new. There was nothing that you played for besides just playing to be good. I don't remember playing for any other reason. I had no intention besides I just want to be good at this. Yeah. I didn't know what I was going to get out of it.
Yeah, I think everyone had that mindset back then, and now it kind of just feels like people are having too much fun. Maybe I don't know.
Well, yeah, because you got guys that might have been Thresh one tricks, and now suddenly they decide instead of climbing, I can run it down, be a one trick, and make highlight videos off of this on smurfing on kids all day long. So they're actually sacrificing their skill to just be entertainers.
Mm-hmm. And that's understandable too, because like I actually almost found myself like going down that same route as well. Like I really liked making like the highlight reels and stuff like that, like making like big plays, right? I didn't really care about like getting elo for the longest time. Like I played a lot of normal games back in the day, and I just played normal games just to like style on people just for fun. But essentially I just decided to climb the ladder. So
it's a difference between the goals that the players want, whether you want to be good or whether you want to entertain. And I mean, didn't you have a chance to do that, Revenge? Because you were a known one-trick Riven. In fact, you were hating against the very same kind that you come from, right? Like, what's going on here?
See, like, I would always say I was never a complete one trick.
No,
like,
dude.
so okay. I'll say there was definitely a time when I was high elo where it's like, okay, if I'm not locking in Riven here, I've definitely just decreased my chances of winning by way too much, right? But I think that at that point I knew what I was, and I knew what I played, and it's like, okay, if I'm playing with like say like a pro player like Bjergsen or Doublelift or something, and they're in my champ select, or even Turtle, and I'm like, okay, the enemy team banned Riven, I'm not gonna just like lock in like Vlad top or something at that time. I know I would just run it down. So like I would at least have the courtesy of dodging. But like the newer like one tricks nowadays, they're like, okay, Shaco's banned or whatever, Rengar or Talon's banned. Okay, let me just lock in like Kled jungle or something. And it's like, okay, let's try this out. And then they just run it down and it's like, okay, let's queue up again. Oh, wow, this player's in my team again. All right, well, what are we going to do? The enemy team bans Rengar. All right, well, they're just going to pick the same champ. There's no, like, repercussion for doing that because, like, they're a high elo Rengar one trick. But now they're just playing other champ. There's no, like, repercussion to that. And that's, like...
I mean, to add to that a little bit, it's kind of like... they dodge, like they would dodge once, right? And then they still want to play like the whole day. So if you dodge more than once, it's like a half an it's a half an hour wait time. So they just decided to like troll instead, you know? Like I can see like how that mindset like, you know, comes about, because like they want to just play more League of Legends and they're like, oh damn, I don't want to dodge.
But like the thing is, like,
I'll just tank 10 LP to get to play the champion.
It might be more interesting for their viewers. Hey guys, I'm doing Kled Jungle now. It changes the stream title, gets 1,000 more.
But the fix to that should be that those players shouldn't be at the highest ranking of North America in the first place, and they shouldn't be match made in our games all the time in the first place. And the reason that they are is because our talent pool in non-one tricks just isn't big enough. So the reason that we're getting one tricks in our game is because the opposite is just probably like a D1 player who's not like anywhere near a master, grandmaster, challenger level. So the quality might even be worse without those one tricks. And that's like the saddest part. And that's why I say, like, when we're thinking about like fixes for matchmaking or whatever, it's like, well, at what point, like, what can Riot do? Because it's like, we just need more talent playing solo queue and talent that we can actually play with and have like fair competition with, because it's just like, it gets harder.
What ideas
and harder.
you have? Because what if you paid people to climb the ladder in the way that there were tournaments in China where you've got X amount of time, first, you know, last person to be rank 1 wins X amount of money and so forth.
I mean, yeah. Did you have a thought? But
sorry,
I was just
you can talk about it.
I was just gonna say, like, I think like a paid incentive or even like an incentive other than just like scouting grounds, because I know that that's what Riot's been trying to do, but scouting grounds is just so long term. But like even like having like X elo to participate in an amateur tournament, for example, that would allow you to win money, like good money, you know, or even if you're like not say like first place or second place, like if you're like top 6 or something in this tournament, you know, like you can gain some money, like things like that, where you can get people to like grind solo queue for a purpose aside from just like, okay, I want to join an academy team right now, you know. We need more of that, I think, in North America, because like we're not getting people pulled into solo queue to just like play for an incentive other than just going pro, because going pro sometimes, I mean, it's hard, and not everybody, and when people start to stream like one tricks, for example, when you look at that route, it's such an easy route compared to like trying to get into academy or pro play from solo queue. It's a way easier route to go down the streaming path. But if you just open up like another route where you can maybe make just some money, you know, like whether it just be like your placement in the ladder or like to participate in like some tournaments that Riot hosts, that's where like we'll really see people rising up and like new talent just like evolving and like coming out, because like more people will just be tryharding, and that's honestly all we need, in my opinion. Just more tryhards.
I'm gonna be honest, like another thing to add on to like the one trick topic is like, honestly, if I felt like if I was a casual and I didn't have that much time to play League of Legends, I would just play one champion the whole time. And if I can get high elo with that, like I'm chill, you know. Like actually, I'm gonna be honest. Like if I could just like one trick rumble and get high elo, I'd probably be the same as like Anibot or like any of these other one tricks, right?
And then stream it and make money. Like
exactly.
What?
It's easier to master that one.
Yeah, it's
champion.
easier to just like spam one champion, like get really good at it. And like another thing that can like inspire other players too is like talent one tricks, for example. Like if he's really good at talent, like other people will be like talent one tricks at this point, and they're just gonna like these other one tricks inspire other people to become one tricks
or find a way to counter that one trick.
Yeah. I mean, before I would, I mean, I still feel like when a pro player can verse a one trick though, it's just like it could still be like really uneven for the game. Like if like I don't know, like if Crown is playing solo queue and he's just against a random talent one trick, he's gonna probably make the game just like unfair and really heavily skewed. And that itself is the problem that we were talking about earlier. It's just like when we put pro players against certain one tricks, most of them get stomped, right? But it's usually like I hear like an EU solo queue, if you're a one trick in challenger, those one tricks are like beating pro players and like challenging pro players in lane, because like they're fundamentally just good at the game. They're not just good at their champion. And that's like the difference of the level of one tricks that we have versus like other regions. It's like our one tricks just climb because it's like way easier to climb in North America, I think.
Well, you and Viper were one tricks at the exact same caliber that they looked at EU, where you're like, well, at the time, Riven was a lot harder to play. Mm-hmm. You guys clearly have impressive mechanics that are translating to other similar champions. There is potential here. So maybe one trick is not the end-all, be-all enemy of solo queue, but the beginning of somebody that's trying to be good.
So I think like for some people that is the case. Like for example, like Adrian Riven, like I think he's extremely good at not just like Riven, but he can pick up on other duelists too. And like his lane fundamentals aren't bad. So he's not just like feeding the whole game and completely ruining the game if he's off Riven, but it's like some of these other one tricks like Diana one tricks, for example, that are just high elo because like, you know, they cheese kills in lane, for example, or Talon, same thing. It's like when you put those people's lane fundamentals and just understanding of the game to the test and like say like a 30-minute solo queue game, like a high level game, for example, they're just going to do things that are so infuriating for the game and just like make you just want to go like, wow, how is this guy in this elo? You know, like, wow, how are they here? And it's like, well, they're just abusing that one trick champ. And that's where the stigma of being a one trick has come into play. It's like those bad players who have just abused, like say that one champion, have like floated up the ladder and they've gotten into these challenging games and their understanding of the game has gotten like tested against like good players and they're just like nowhere near the level that they are playing at. And that's what I think is the big problem.
Couldn't you beat the one tricks if you joined voice comms and we're like, hey, that talent is going to your lane, get out?
That's probably a big solution.
Right? Like,
that talent's gonna get too freaked out.
That's your problem, right? There's a Rengar coming, there's a Shaco coming, you're like, get out, back, but you just yell at this guy until he gets it. And after a few games, I think they're gonna get, oh wait, to beat the talent, I need coordination. I should join voice comms, because that's these one trick champions you're talking about are only a problem because of the lack of coordination, right? Shaco jungle is only a problem because you don't have a coordinated attack against them. Right. Same thing with the Rengar. Oh, where is the... Okay, support jungle, group together, deep vision your lane. There you go. Rengar can't gank. If you added voice comms, I think the entire problem is solved, and you promote guys to be as good as the European one tricks that just happen to be amazing at one champion but can translate it to others.
Yeah. I mean, I think voice comms, like you're saying, would make quality of the games higher and maybe like you said, like improve the quality of the one tricks over time because like they would be filtered out and stuff. But I still think like the problem would still be there that like these players who just are playing a lot, for example, climbing up the ladder because they're just playing a lot and not enough people with a lot of talent are grinding against them, like, you know, or grinding in solo queue against them and like making it hard for them to climb. That's where the key issue is. And like I said earlier, we just need more people who are motivated to climb. And I actually liked Riot's like idea with scouting grounds where they just said like one tricks can't attend scouting grounds. Like, you know, that actually inspired a lot of like one tricks or a lot of people who were one tricks to like expand their champion pools and stuff and try to like get better at the game. Cause like once you expand your champion pools, like I did this recently in the off season. When you learn new style champions like mages, you actually understand the game better because you have to learn a new style. And I think like that's also another thing. It's if you're playing a one trick champion, you're likely playing in a one-dimensional style on everything you play. And that's like critical in like trying to get better at the game. You're never going to like improve in other aspects of the game if you're only playing a one-dimensional style.
I can't play Kiana if that helps.
I just played Kiana for the first time in a ranked game yesterday. Won a few games. Just brand new. Had not played her before. Pop it. Do you guys do that? Play a new champion?
I actually played Kiana once she came out, but I don't think I was like that good at her. I think for my issue is like I don't know how to team fight that well on Assassins. Like I kind of just like tunnel vision on like a guy. Like I just click tab. I look at like who has a bounty, and I'm like, all right, I'm killing him the next fight.
Really?
Yeah. Because I need the bounty. That's all I think about. Like the moment I'm playing an assassin, I'm like clicking tab. I'm like, okay, bounty. This guy's a bounty. I'm just gonna kill this guy. I don't really care about what happens to my teammates.
Wow. Well, clearly it's working for you.
It actually works well.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good strategy. Like actually, that's a pro tip right there.
Yeah. I think so too. Just I get so horny for bounties every time. I'm like, yo, guys.
Are we still using that? Just horny for things?
I mean, sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, this is a question. I mean, how long have you been playing SoloQ for? Revenge? League for?
8 years.
Okay, so we're all here from the start, pretty much.
Essentially.
You seen any girls in challenge?
Occasionally. I think there is like some that pop up like season to season. I think right now we have Gamer Girl, I guess. She's like a Kaddoura one trick. And Tristan was just talking about Power of Evil was just talking about her the other day because he was laning against her, and he was like beating her in lane, but all she did was like roam around the map and got like 5 kills and won the game, and he was just like
So she capped it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
That's one way to look at it, you know. But yeah, no, I think it is interesting to me. I guess like if we're getting on the topic of like, because
I have some theories.
Yeah,
but
like,
I want to hear yours.
I get
For
asked,
like girls not being high elo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they don't, I think they want to have a life, and guys are much more happy to just grind away and do nothing. But
Yeah,
play
you
the
might be
video
onto
game.
something. I think they might have already social lives.
Yeah.
They might already have.
I have met
right.
quite a few
'Cause-
girls that were legitimately very talented at League, like, and they're just like, well, I want to have a life. I want to go out. I want to have friends. I want to do this. They're just like, I don't want to sit here and play Kaddoura 15 hours a day.
See, like, I would agree, but it's just like, I know there are definitely a lot of girls who do grind though,
Yeah.
and play for a lot, and just like there are a lot of guys, but it's just like, I would actually be curious to to see like how many girls in Korea there are that are like, say, Masters Plus, because like over there it's very culturally accepted already to like game and grind in your free time, right? So for sure there are going to be more girls playing League of Legends over there, and I'm just curious to see over there what that like disparity would be, because like I think over here in North America it's definitely, I would say like, I wouldn't say stigma, but there's more like cultural boundaries for girls to just like grind video games rather than for a guy.
I don't think it's like widely accepted in Korea for like for a girl to like grind video games.
Yeah, well, it might not be, but I think like the whole idea of it being culturally accepted for gaming in general, it might like create
I think the government like tries to block a lot of the.
So you actually have, if you're under 18 in
Yeah.
Korea, you cannot be at a PC bang after 10 p.m.
Yeah.
It shuts
They
down.
have a lot of rules around like gaming nowadays. In the Asian countries, yeah.
Well, I mean, government aside, it's for sure more culturally.
I mean, socially, I think
socially,
I think socially it's gotten a lot better because I think Fortnite was like really popular. But like I remember for me growing up, like I would just be like probably like the only gamer I knew around amongst my friends, like really. And it took me like a while, like it took me to the stage to get to like high school before like I found a group to like actually play video games with. But prior to that, I was just like playing video games like alone, finding like random groups to play with. So
That's one thing I find really troubling still, is that when I go outside of the gaming world and tell someone, what do you do for a living? Oh, this is what I do. And they've never heard of it. You're the weirdest person in the room. And it's not even close.
I see. Yeah, that does happen
yeah.
actually. Yeah. Even for me, it's like sometimes I'm like, yeah, I play video games. They don't really like understand like anything that's like happening like here.
Right. How can you tell them that your struggles with SoloQ are affecting your performance outside in the LCS? It's a difficult subject, and it brings me to a question that I have been pondering for quite some time. Is LP attractive?
Is LP attractive?
Is LP attractive? There's the Challenger jackets. There are dating apps that allow you to input your own LP that I have heard people are utilizing and abusing.
Well, I think it'd be like the same as like saying you're like, I don't know, like I don't want to say like ripped IRL or something, because that's like a bit different.
Whoa.
But it's like,
Really?
but it's like well, I'm just thinking like if you're, say, a girl who's like, say it's like a baseball fan, say like a girl who's a baseball fan, she's gonna find like other baseball players attractive, right?
Think it the other way around. I think you see a girl that's really high ranked. Is that attractive to you? I think that's more relevant to us, because for me, if I saw someone that was high ranked, I wouldn't think that's attractive inherently. It's that it shows a certain capacity for skill or a certain ranking in something. You're like, okay, this person is capable of something, right? Like clearly something, and better than a lot of other people. And I think that's what's enticing about it.
I think that's what you said was really interesting. It's the capacity of their skill that you just said, and that's what's, I think, a lot of people are attracted to in terms of like the high LP, right? It's like they're attracted to the fact that you have that capacity to reach this level of gameplay or level of skill in what you're doing. And obviously, if they have an interest in what you're doing, for example, like if they are interested in League of Legends and they see that you have this like skill in it, it's like fangirls, for example, like fangirls, or even fanboys, they see that you have this like skill level at this thing that they admire, and that's going to be, attractive. And that's understandable, I guess. I think like some people are just attracted to people having a high capacity of learning things and being good at things. I think like that alone is just attractive to many people in all sorts of things in life. So
yeah, I think definitely being like high LP is attractive for both genders. You definitely attract both genders. So yeah, just to answer that question quickly, yeah, I think it is.
So you guys rock your Challenger jacket off?
Not very often.
If it was, really
I actually
cool,
worn it only once, and I thought I wore it for fun. Like I just thought it would be funny to walk outside with a Challenger jacket.
I actually didn't get one, and I got. I don't want to say I got scammed, but I was Challenger this season. The Challenger jacket was revealed. I think it was like season 5 or something, or season 4.
It was season 7.
Season 7. Okay. Well, yeah, I was definitely in Challenger that season, and you had to fill out some form with like your like size and all that, measurements and everything, and I did that, and then it was like the middle of like season 8 or something, and I still hadn't gotten my stuff, and everyone had gotten their stuff at this point. So I messaged the writer, and they were like, "Oh, maybe you didn't fill out a form," and I was like, "Oh, I definitely filled out a form." And they're like, "Oh, your form must have been bugged and we don't have any more." And I was like, wow. So I never got to flex a Challenger jacket, unfortunately, but
it's fine.
I heard it was a little overhyped and everything. But
overhyped, yeah.
I was pretty sad. I was like, wow, I was really looking forward to getting a jacket, and then just to have, for the future. And I guess it's just like out of stock or something.
Were you motivated by the jacket when you were climbing? Like, I gotta get this.
I think like by the time they announced it, it was already near the end of the season, and I was already like really high LP, so I was kind of like, oh, nice, I finally got a reward, like, like there's something happening. But I know, like, I remember talking to like some of my friends, my like IRL friends who were kind of casual players, and they're like, dude, what the heck, you're getting a jacket, like that's so freaking cool, like why, I want to be Challenger now. And I'm like, yo, yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? No one got their jacket for so long, so it kind of was like, okay, well, I'll just wait for my jacket. Kind of forgot about it, and then I just never ended up getting it.
All right, I'm just gonna put this out there real quick, but anyone who comments on this video, I'm gonna give my Challenger jacket to.
Oh,
I'm gonna just give it away.
A WildTurtle Challenger jacket.
I'll sign it too.
Oh,
what? eBay? Anyone? Or frame it?
I just think it'll be fun to give away anyway. So
wow.
You're going to go to the post office and mail that yourself?
If you guys want to put an application in, call 1-855-SoloQ. And yeah, that's it.
1-855-SoloQ. Call our hotline.
QUE. There is no, it's only SoloQUE.
Yeah, SoloQUE.
Yeah.
1-855-SoloQ.
Actually, let's change it from the comment. If you guys want to get the jacket, 1-855-SoloQ.
Tell us why
Tell us why you're... Actually... How we're gonna choose it is the person to have the funniest SoloQ stories will get it.
Yes.
Nice.
Because trust me, Jason, Turtle and I have duoed, and we have had some funny stories.
Let's hear it.
So
let's hear him.
You know exactly what I'm thinking about. He knows exactly.
All right, you tell us that. I'm not saying anything.
All right, so for just purposes of privacy, I won't say the summoner name.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just say champion names. So we had an Olaf jungle. And Turtle was playing Kaisa. I was playing Riven, and we were really sweating for this win. I think it was because I was like,
it was just season 10 just started. I think I had like a 90% win rate, so I didn't want to lose like any games.
Yeah. We were on like an insane duo spree. I remember like the day started, and Turtle was like, "Yo, duo till lose," like so we'll duo until we lose, and then we'll stop duoing. And we won like 9 games in a row or something like that, right? So like we were grinding, and this is like halfway through there. We were just like. We were playing a pretty intense late game, and so Turtle's on his like troll. It's not a troll account, but it's an ambiguous name. It's kind of like a really troll name. It's like
Tame Turtle, Tame Tortoise.
Not yet. Not yet. I'm
not
ready.
We'll abstain from saying some summoner names, but it's a pretty like random name. So we get to like the mid game, and our Olaf was I think someone made a mistake. Someone got car or something. We lost Baron, and our Olaf.
No, our Olaf failed to smite.
Our Olaf. Okay, remind you, our Olaf failed to smite Baron, and
we lost it to Brand Ultimate. I remember this. We lost it to a support Brand Ultimate.
So we lost Baron to Brand Ultimate, right? It was pretty bad, and I just remember I think Turtle just pinged the guy, right? Like we were just like giving him some like missing pings, pinging his portrait, whatever, classic like soft flame. And the guy just got unhinged. He just lost it on us, right, in chat. And he's just like, yo, Rand, why are you typing at me, bro? And like, like, fuck you and all this stuff. And he's like, and then he started talking about how much pussy we get. He's like, yo, you get no pussy. You can tell just by how you ping me. And like, mind you, like, Turtle's like 16-3 or something at this point in the game. So it's not even like he's inting or anything. This guy's just gone unhinged. And he's like, the way you type, you get no females IRL. And we were just like, I hadn't even read chat at this point.
He said like, with those communication skills, you can't make up any chicks. Something like that. I'm like, bro, I'm just typing.
And like, it was just the craziest thing to me. And I was just sitting there because like, I'm not on an ambiguous account, so
Revenge was inting that game actually.
I was not inting that game. I was playing Riven.
As one trick.
Had a rough early game. I was scaling. But yeah, I was not typing that game. So I was just experiencing this flame, and I just like, we were in comms, and I just looked at chat, and I'm like, dude, are you reading this? He's just like, yeah, I know what's going on.
Did you guys win? What happened?
Oh yeah, we ended up winning. We actually ended up winning. It was pretty like.
I was just trying to get him to deflect the blame. You know, he was getting like a little bit heated in the moment, so I was just like taking it for him.
yeah.
Because like he just failed to smite the bear. He was like 10-0, and it was like, ended the game like 10-9.
That always hurts, losing the Baron Seal. But it actually reminds me of a story I had similar to that in Korean SoloQ a while ago, where we have a Rengar jungle. He's got like 25 kills. And we're struggling. The game is not being close. So somebody tells him, hey, Rengar, you're doing a really good job carrying. Could you build a little tank, man? Like we need a tank on our team. And he says, what did you just say to me? What did you just say to me? Build tank? How about this? Sells all his items. What's up now? And just runs it down.
That's sick.
As many kills as he had.
That's sick.
He mirrors them in death.
Yeah.
And the game is over. Because somebody told them you should build tank.
I mean, I'll tell another story.
That's
actually
respect.
From Korean SoloQ as well. This story I actually remember because I was just like so mind blown at the time. This is back in like season 4. I think this is like the first year we ever went to Korea on TSM. And then I was just playing SoloQ. I was like pretty high elo at this point. I'm like challenger, like rank 50 or something like that. And then the game started. I have a Jarvan jungle. I'm on blue side. And no one leashes in like pro play, right? Like nobody leashes, but in SoloQ you're always supposed to leash. I didn't know that, so I was like, yo, I'm not leashing. So I said, yo, I'm not leashing. And the moment I said that, my Jarvan flashed over the red wall, ran mid, dropped his flag, and died. And then the game was fifth. It was just open mid. Like there's nothing to be said. I was just like, wow, I just lost my team the game from one comment. I'm not leashing. Literally flashed over the red wall right away.
And you leash every game now.
Yeah, I'm sometimes. Yeah.
maybe
that was like the meta in like Korean SoloQ. Like you leash for your jungler, and I was just like, no, I'm not. And in competitive play, like you weren't leashing at the time, so I was like, yo, bro, I'm not leashing. And then he was just like flashing over the wall. Game's over.
But wouldn't you rather have that where it's funny, it's just that quick, you know what the guy's trying to do versus the long drawn out?
It was
just
funny.
a torture in SoloQ.
I mean, I've just heard some nightmare stories about Korean SoloQ. Like,
it's funny.
I hear it's like really bad up until you're like in high MMR.
I mean, you get the open mids pretty frequently.
Yeah,
and it's not that bad, honestly. Okay. I played in it. I don't think it's that bad at all. Like some games you lose fast, but like you get a lot of games in, and like if you're consistently good, I think it's like more time efficient. Like I know some games in NA still, like people would just like refuse to FF, even in a like impossible to win game. And like I have these games where I get like 10-15 deaths because like our team won't surrender, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna keep going.
You're just gonna keep fighting. Right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep fighting. And then I look at my match history, I'm like, I look really noob here.
I
look really noob here.
You reaffirmed me so much, telling me you got games of 10 and 15 deaths as well.
I should honestly just like open mid. Like I don't even know what I'm doing. Like I literally just run it down just for the sake of running.
No one opens mid though. That's the problem. There's a meme now. It's NA mid, right? It's the NA open mid. It's never really an open mid. It's always like defend haphazardly. Then when they try to end, kill them all.
I use all my ultis right when they're about to end the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be like an open mid. I think those situations should be typically rare, but like FF15 should be pretty realistic some games. Like, okay guys, the score is 18-3. You know.
But haven't you won some games of 18? I've won some games 18. I've won some 4v5. There is a chance.
They're okay. I'll
Okay.
say that.
I mean, another thing is like it just popped in my mind, but like I remember distinctively like this other team said open mid. They had like a Kassadin. Like he was like level 4 or 5, right? And he was like open mid. Like the game was like completely over. We were like ending the game here. And then he gets like 5 kills and starts playing the game, and we lose the game. Like, what the fuck? I'm not even joking. Like that actually happened to me, man. I'm like, what?
They give up.
Why do I have to struggle to win now when the game was over like 15 minutes ago?
Yeah, no, I've had similar situations where I was actually on the opposite end, where like my team called open or something, and it's like, well, I didn't say open. Yeah. and their team runs down mid, and I just like triple kill them as Riven, and I'm like, and they're like, what? I didn't open, and I'm like, I didn't say open. Sorry, guys.
So it's like you need another vote. One vote that's a surrender and another one that's an open. Like,
so
Well,
agree to
everyone
open.
should just AFK. I actually do this where I refuse to go mid unless everyone on the other team goes AFK, and I don't care. I will keep pushing my side lane.
Yeah,
I'll keep getting my
that's
farm.
how you do it. Yeah.
Unless and I type it in all chat. I'm like, yo, everyone go AFK, and I'll go mid. And like that's my like that's my like open policy in NA, because like otherwise like it just doesn't happen. And then they're like someone's just jerking mid, taking CS, and I'm like, all right, well. And then my top laner just goes back top and starts farming, and I'm like, wait, I'm missing waves now. And it's like, wait, they're not opening anymore. It's like, okay, well, it was a waste of time.
You don't even trust the players to surrender.
No, not at all. You shouldn't.
But in Korea, at least they have that mutual respect.
Yeah. They're like, all right, they're AFK. They're actually gone.
They all agree on some things.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing I feel like in Korea is people literally just straight up AFK. And at that point, you like, if you have 2 or 3 teammates AFK, you should use your brain and just go, okay, let's stop wasting time. And you're just like ruining the game for yourself. Like at that point, you're ruining your own mental trying to win that game, right? Like if 2 or 3 of your teammates are AFK, you will not win. Period. No matter what.
Honestly, I used to have like the mindset of just like never giving up and just like playing every SoloQ game down to the brink. But like nowadays, it's kind of just like people give up hella easily. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
right, I'm just gonna give up too.
Well, the way I used to climb was always just tilt the enemy. It was never about actually trying to win. It was just, who is the weakest link here, and how can I break his mental? How do I camp top lane to the point where he wants to run it down somewhere else? How do I counter jungler the jungler where he wants to AFK? How do I pressure mid to the point where he doesn't want to leave his lane? And then how do I make bottom lane just stay 2v2ing the entire time? Just taking that approach almost always worked, where they would always just start all typing, because you just want them to all chat. When they're all chatting, you know you got them.
You know you got a subtle victory when there's an all chat war going on with the enemy team. I actually like to sometimes, like, depending on the players, especially if I know them, like there's some one tricks I can think of right now who are really like a short fuse, and it's like, oh, sometimes I'll just like all chat so like they'll all chat first, right? And I'll just go like, oh, like what happened? Like, yo, like bro, I'll just say something about their teammate, like, why'd you do this or whatever, and then he'll start flaming them harder in all chat. And it's like, now that I interacted in all chat, the person that's being flamed starts interacting, and then it just turns into this like all chat battle that I like kind of cooked up, and then like they're just like AFK typing and we're just killing them, and we just win the game. There's definitely been like a lot of games where like that's happened. Like it's really easy with like the people you know who have just like a short fuse, and you'll just like trigger like on the spot. It's just
I mean, if winning in SoloQ is about using every tool you've got, all chat's a big one, right? Being able to, how good can you type to tilt the enemy?
Yeah. I mean,
or do you play mute all? Because I'm a big fan of the mute all button.
I've never been a mute all gamer.
Really?
That's just
I used to be a mute all gamer when I was like in the zone and shit. I was just like, right when the game started, mute all. Just play the game.
I might mute all chat sometimes. I actually, in games where like if I'm against like Viper, Centauran, whatever, you know, like people I know who are just gonna keep like typing in all chat, I will sometimes like halfway through the game while they're just spam typing in all chat to me, trying to tilt me, I'll just mute them, because I'm like, dude, they're just trying to trigger me right now. And when I mute them, I just play so much better. And it's like, okay, because like, especially like when people you know who you're like friends with, sometimes they'll just try to like trigger you or try to just keep all chatting you, and it's like, okay, like you're my homie and all, but like I would just mute you really quick so I can focus on this game.
You know, I think it might be different for the role though, because you guys don't play mute all anymore, but for me in jungle, I get every single lane's asking for my help. Everyone's jungle different. It's like, what are you doing? Where I gotta just just shut up. I don't even care about the enemy team. I care more about my own team is the one that tilts me. So I need to mute them first.
Yeah, I could honestly. I think jungle. If you mute all, that's probably the best role to do it because like you'll actually probably play the game smarter. You know, if you're being yoinked around the map because of pings or whatever, or like people crying for ganks and stuff, you'll actually lose a lot more. Or if you're just like a smart player and you're just playing like for yourself in jungle, you can probably carry more games actually, and just not go to the laner who's crying or fall into like the trap of ganking a losing lane or whatever it may be. Being called to a play, for example, you didn't want to make. So
in my opinion, like when you play, like when you're good at jungling in like SoloQ, it's kind of just like smashing the enemy jungler in his own jungle instead of actually just like helping the lanes. It's kind of just like killing the
So
jungler.
you want the guy to be counter jungling and just kill the other guy all the time.
Yeah.
That's
That's how I jungle.
Yeah.
Like that's my mindset when I'm jungling. It's like, how can I find the enemy jungler and just like kill him instead?
I mean, how doomed is it when you have like an autofill jungler and they just get invaded and killed? Like, and they're against the jungle main. I personally feel like the game is unwinnable in that situation.
If you have a jungle main that gets invaded and killed,
no. If I have a non-jungle main, if I do have a jungle main and they do get invaded and killed, it's like, okay, they can recover. They know how to recover. But when I have a non-jungle main playing say something like Olaf or something and they get invaded and killed somehow, they will just chain feed for the rest of the game. Okay, and it's over.
So then let me tie this back to the beginning. How long are you willing to wait in queue for a game where you've got no autofills and a guy that is playing his champion out of a pool of champions and not his only one trick?
Well, in preseason, I was waiting.
Now.
Okay, well, I was just going to preface and say I was waiting about 50 to 55 minutes in queue sometimes.
50?
Yeah, and I wasn't even getting good quality games. So it's like, it segues to my point that I was kind of saying earlier. It's like, well, what can Riot really do at that point?
So you're willing to wait as long as it takes. You're just at their mercy.
I mean, it's kind of a waste of time if I'm playing a game, or it's even a bigger waste of time, I think, if I wait the really long queue times and then I also get a low quality game. That's actually the problem of like Season 9 and the end of Season 9 solo queue actually was that was like the crippling effect. It was like, I just waited 35 minutes for this like 10-minute open mid game. It's like, wow. Like my queue time was 2 to 3 times longer than what I just played. And then I go into queue again. It's actually really infuriating trying to go through that. But, and that's, I think, so it's like, it's like a two-way street, right? So pro players who say, well, that's why I don't play solo queue. It's like, well, if you queued up, the queue times probably wouldn't be that long and the quality wouldn't be that bad. So if more people just played, the problem would be fixed, in my opinion, actually. But I think that was like the biggest problem I was experiencing with queue times and matchmaking is I was waiting so long for these games, around 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and I was getting really bad quality. And I think like at that point, you should just give me a 5-minute queue and just let me get a really low quality game. I would be happy with that, actually. Versus waiting the 50 minutes and getting the same quality game,
I gave this comparison. I thought about this in the shower about what this problem in solo queue is. Solo queue is like a public pool, an Olympic public pool with just a lot of people from a lot of different places just wanted to swim. You guys decided to use that pool to go Olympic swimming. And you're out there making laps and then complaining about all the other people that are in this pool saying, like, we want a bigger pool or we got to get these people out of here. I want a quality pool. But it's a public pool. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
But anyways, the meta right now is, I think, a big topic of discussion because the jungle sucks. I'm not playing jungle anymore. I play Phil.
Yeah, so you're just not a fan of jungle at all right now? Is it just like the XP changes?
Well, first of all, I don't like getting flamed all the time.
Okay, well that's not very good to change.
Being below in levels, but more than anything, I think the champions in the jungle are boring.
Why? Look, Lee Sin, Elise,
Rek'Sai,
Kiana.
Yeah, well, I've been playing those for years, and then you got shit like Pike coming out in the bottom. You got Aphelios, you got Sett, you got all these new crazy mechanics that are always available to all the other roles. And then the jungle, it's still, if I want to, I gotta go Elise again, the same combo.
To me, it feels like there's like a lot of junglers, but there's also junglers that are like clearly way better than the other ones. Like I feel like there's so many viable junglers, but because like these other set of junglers are just like really OP, you can't really choose from like another pool. And that's like how I feel about it. And it's kind of similar for AD carry too. Like we have like 3 or 4 AD carries that are like really good. I mean, it's the same for every role, right?
Yeah, that's how it's always been for the entire game.
Exactly, it's the same for every role. So I kind of feel like it's balanced because everything's like that. You know?
I think for the AD though, you have gotten so many more new pieces. Last year you had Zaya Kaisa, right? Just every game. Then you have Aphelios. Then you have the bottom lane introduction of mages. So now you can run away with that even more. So there's a big pool for you to choose from. The jungle, you have Elise, Sejuani, Jarvan, Lee. You could literally have played those 4 champions for the past 4 years, nothing else, and been a top jungler in solo queue and professional play.
True.
Well, okay, so I ask this question all the time to like Centauran, you know, because he you know, he's obviously not a fan of jungle either. It's like, well, how would you fix it right now? How would you balance it? Because like you would agree though that like season 6 jungle, where it was just like this power farming jungle meta where you just like 1v9 the game as jungle, was way too unbalanced, right? So it's like, what's the good median for jungle? You know, like what's that median of like where you can gank but get punished for bad ganks, but also not just be able to power farm your way through the game and get like level 18 and just kill everyone?
I think the median is jungle before. Do you remember when oracles existed? Jungle at the time felt like your role was very different than anybody else's in the game. I think jungle right now has become a role that's just so exactly using the same itemization, the same champions, the same tools that your other laners are using, that you're identical to what they're trying to do. So you're just weaker because you have less resources. If jungle had a role within the game that was really only specific to that, to those 2 champions, sorry, Zed, then I think that would make it a lot easier for you to be happy and successful with what you're doing, because you're doing it kind of a little mini game that nobody else can be doing. And at the same time, you're still being part of the whole team by assisting with your ganks back and forth. So it would take a really big creative effort, I think, to come up with a way to kind of bring jungle into its own and separate it a bit more from what has become Season 10 League of Legends.
In my opinion, I think this would be a crazy idea, but it would make the game, like, I think more fun. It's like, just have one role designated to roaming. That's it.
So Dota.
Yeah, sure. Actually, maybe that's why I said that. But
he's a Dota fan. He's a Dota fan at heart, for sure.
I came from Dota. Most of the people in the
too.
league, I think, at the ones at the start, came from Dota.
Well,
I just think it'd be, I don't know, interesting as well. Just to like have one role, one guy walking around doing random shenanigans.
So make it more of a roaming role.
Yeah.
Oh, what if you made it, if you really committed to that, right? You could kind of nerf the jungle experience and make it more for the laners to have that. But then the itemization, the first item that the jungler got, you'd be able to gain passive experience while roaming that is relative to the levels in the game. So you'd still stay relevant in experience while just ganking all the time.
Yeah, that sounds cool. And he's low income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, there we go.
Yeah,
we
mean,
should be game designers.
Yeah, I think like Riot's trying to. They're not trying to do that, but they're just trying to like make jungle this like this role that is just used as only a tool for laners, really, and versus before where it's like you can actually just completely. I mean, you could carry the game as jungle, not like as the actual jungler. You know what I mean? Like,
so is jungle the best role to carry in solo queue? Solo, no duo. What's the best solo role?
I think like the best solo role. That's like hard to say. I think they're all pretty even right now. Not gonna lie.
I think you can win if you're just a good player.
Yeah, I think there's not like a single role that comes to mind where it's like, okay, this role is like way too OP. Before, like in season 9, it was definitely AD carry near the end. For sure, AD carry was way too good.
So,
but
I'll tell you, I've been speaking to some people that do boosting.
Okay.
They tell me, and these are people whose job is to climb solo queue, right? Best combination to climb solo queue, Caitlyn Morgana.
Really?
That's what they use.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But is it just for the push and prio and lane?
You have Caitlyn, which can be God mode in solo queue, and if you have Morgana's Black Shield, you let that guy carry even more. So you're just 2v2ing that lane.
Interesting.
You're crushing that lane, and then you're easily able to team fight kind of as a 2-man army, not needing to worry about everybody else. So that's coming from people that do that for a living. I want to hear what you guys think about that.
I mean, I don't always think duo bot lane can especially right now. I don't think duo bot lane is like as scary as it was like in season 9. I think like solo lane is probably a bit stronger to carry on. Would you agree? Like,
well, I just had a game where my solo laner just 1v9 carried, so.
right.
So was that a Sett?
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah.
I mean, it just
That's
feels
rough.
like with the XP changes in solo lane, you can definitely carry games out, which is good. I think in season 9, the end of season 9 at least, it was like way too hard to carry as a solo laner if your bot lane was even a little behind, like or the enemy bot lane had a little advantage.
Well,
it was kind of like, wow.
He just said he just saw a Sett carry hard. Are you playing Sett as well then? Because
A little bit.
He seems busted with his W more than anything. His W and R seem crazy.
He's really strong right now. Number wise, he's really strong.
What's that ability that like pulls them together? Is that Q?
E.
The E. That's the stun.
Dude, that combo is like so nuts with W. Just
Yeah.
Like when you pull them.
I mean, yeah.
I just think his pass is ridiculous. The punching thing.
Yeah,
You just punch
attack
all the time?
speed or
I mean the double punch.
And the regen.
attack speed too?
He has like a lot of regen too. Actually, the main thing about him that's really strong is he buys so much time in fights. Like, you don't even have to build tank items on him, but he just takes way too long to kill. It's like, wow, okay, like this guy has, you press tab, he has no tank items, but he's just not dying because he has a W. Because like if in a team fight, if you're trying to burst him and he presses W, you're not going to just completely drop all damage on him while he's W. You're going to still be dumping a little bit of damage when he just randomly presses W, right? So that alone is like pretty insane. If you're like trying to burst him in a fight and he Ws, you're just like, okay, well, this is delaying us from killing him for quite some time, and it's doing damage to us. So
it sounds like someone that would be perfect in the jungle role. He has all those shields,
Is
right?
he viable in the jungle?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
He is.
absolutely. Super I think when they nerf him, he'll be even better in the jungle.
Are they going? Do they?
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
We'll give us
Aphelios.
some time. We'll give us some time.
I mean, Aphelios is already getting nerfed on 10-2, right?
Yep, it looks like it.
Damage nerf.
There's a lot. He's got a lot of guns, so I don't know which one of these is the gun that was nerfed.
I mean, I
Looks
feel like
a few.
what actually makes him OP, like even though like some of his guns are like really OP, but I think like the stats are really OP. Like just
you
getting
think
like
so?
extra stats, man. Like your crits do way more damage.
Oh, the passive.
Like
stats.
when you level up, like you just skill up like
Yeah,
AD, you
yeah.
skill up like bonus armor pen. Like it just makes all your damage abilities do like way more damage.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something. You know, when Riven was busted, the reason why most people looked at her at being busted was that she had a 9.5 HP regen at a time when most champions had under 1.
Yeah.
So statistically, she was just crazy busted in that regard. And that's how Riot balances champions slowly, is they just attack the stats little by little. And they're like, oh, maybe it'll be a little weaker now if she has less scaling armor or less scaling attack speed. But if Aphelios' stats are what's high, then that's obviously what's going to be taken
I personally
down.
think that's what makes him OP, because like when I buy like my first item and I have like already like 200 AD, I can crit for like 400 damage sometimes, and it's like, okay, nice.
Well, I think it's like his utility, honestly, in his kit, because like if he could just like get a slow, or with his gun slows more than Ashe, you know, like in autos, right? That's already insane.
I've seen him kill people across the map. I honestly don't understand it.
So like that to me is what's overpowered. I know it's like his damage is definitely good. That's what makes him like able to probably like survive a lot of the lanes and like outplay and do all that. But it's also like I don't understand how an AD carry is just rooting me like from a screen away. It's kind of like, what? That to me is just like insane utility that will always be good, no matter how hard you nerf him, no matter what. If he's ever out of lane and he has that utility in his kit, it's going to be good.
So you think people should be playing Aphelios if you want to play AD to climb right now, no matter what?
Oh,
Lock it
yeah.
in.
Well,
Actually, I'm not gonna be honest. I'm like 40% win rate on Aphelios. I don't even feel like I'm having that bad of a games. Like my games are going fine.
You can't carry with Aphelios.
Are you getting
guess not,
camped or
yeah.
what? Is it like the
I guess not. Yeah.
the OP rise effect?
Don't ban Aphelios against FlyQuest, guys. Please.
Hear that, Immortals? All right.
Wow.
Please.
Is it like so when Rise was like really busted, and you know, I think Aphelios and Rise are both pretty immobile champs. It's like they just have this like stigma that they're really OP and they're just gonna get super camped in SoloQ, and it's actually super hard to win.
I love camping Rice. Rice is one of my favorite
Yeah.
champions to play against.
Yeah, he's really easy to shut down in SoloQ if you're not. I mean, if the enemy Rise isn't like really careful, and it's like, well, those champs are pretty overpowered. Well, but easy to camp, so it's like, you know. I just remember there was a phase where Rise was banned for so long, and then anytime he was like somehow left open, everyone would just like 3 or 4 man him permanently, and it's like, okay, this champ is way too hard to win on. Actually, like he has way too much OP stigma on him to
Well,
be played.
I've got something here for you, both of you guys. We
What's
have
up?
a player ladder.
Oh,
so
boy.
we have
Okay.
been, I think, a few weeks into season 10 SoloQ.
Uh-huh.
Centauran, rank 55.
Okay. On the climb.
Pretty impressive already, top 100. WildTurtle, rank 91. I think you had some gripes about that.
Yeah, I'm like rank 60. Come on, guys.
Rank 60. And Revenge, you are at 399.
All right. So in my defense,
Is that challenge?
Yo, bro.
That's, what's Grandmaster?
Grandmaster.
Revenge is a runner, man. Like,
Whoa.
he was like the 8th master. He was
Yeah.
like 8th master.
Okay, so
And
hear
he
me
got
out.
demoted.
Hear me out.
Dude, you couldn't even hold
I was
master.
playing on another account and I got demoted. Okay, so it was partially bad luck. I'm not. It was bad luck. Some games were sprints, I recently just started playing again on my main, which is probably what this ladder ranking is, and I just climbed back up from like unranked to master again because once I got demoted, I was like, dude, I cannot. I did not want to just reclimb it back up, so I was like, okay, I'll just start another account because some of the games just felt way too tilting and unfun.
I want to run something by you though, because
what's up?
you're really high ranked here compared to the rest of your teammates because you have PoE, your new mid laner Turtle, 3,039, 3,739. I am ranked 4,000.
I mean, he just got to NA.
In his defense, yeah, he got
in
here
his
pretty
defense,
recently.
he just got here like
same with
4 days
Ignore.
ago.
Same with Ignore. So in their defense, they
Ignore is
got here
already
pretty recently.
2,000 points higher, 2,000 places higher.
That's like a few wins probably. So so it's like right now I think climbing is so I don't want to say easy, but it's like if you're winning, your LP gains are massive right now. At least if you're playing on like an MMR.
I mean, if you think about it, like the rank 1 right now, he has like 1,200 LP.
Yeah.
And like honestly thinking about that, it's like he's probably gonna be rank 1 for a while. Like no one's gonna dethrone this guy for a while.
We'll see.
Do you guys know him? Always plan ahead.
I just remember him being an Aurelian solo one trick.
Yeah, and so like to put it into perspective, and I don't mean to like talk bad on him as a player or any of these players, because like there are some people in top 10 right now who are pretty good, but it's like when the season goes on, like a lot of these players drop down a lot because it's like
Not everyone's playing right now.
not only that, but it's like it's very easy to climb if you are winning right now, and winning comes with grinding. And if you look at the games played from a lot of these players, like Adrian, Always Plan Ahead, Tony, it's like they have significantly more games than people who are lower ranked right now. And it's like, or Shady, for example, too. It's like, not to take away, I mean, these are all talented players for even being high ranked in the first place, but it's like as the season goes on, you'll see like, okay, these players are going to lose their LP and they're going to get toned down. And it's like, okay, that's why people say like early season solo queue is like
You
early
really
season
hate
solo
one
queue.
tricks, don't you?
He's just a hater, I think.
Always Plan Ahead is not even a one trick. He's actually like he actually plays a unique style. He plays like a roaming champ style. So he plays like
He's Don't Be
Pantheon,
Okay.
Asol, Talia. He plays these champs where it's like
Hooey.
he's essentially Hooey, but just mid lane and
True.
playing mid lane again and revived, I guess, if you want to say that. But I mean, he's good. Like I'm saying, like all these players are good, but as the season goes on, they'll be versing better players and things stabilize, and it's like, okay, like these players don't keep like their high rank as long as they could,
So
if they're good players.
Before we go to a voicemail segment that I'm really looking forward to because we have that phone number, not voice.
1-855
SoloQ.
SoloQ.
There you go.
SoloQ.
I gotta ask one question about SoloQ that I think is really imperative for a lot of people. 1-3-1, essentially stay split or group up. What is more effective when it comes to winning SoloQ?
If your side laners are humans, 1-3-1 is easier. But I feel like if they're not humans, if they're not humans, I would just rather have you come in.
Just come mid. Honestly, I'm gonna say it for sure. It's just come mid.
So Nayram.
Yeah, Nayram.
You think we should be Nayram? This is where the problem begins.
Okay, well,
this is the
I
problem.
love splitting in solo queue.
I can't trust my teammates to not get caught.
Exactly. I love side laning in solo queue, but I've noticed that much more of my success has just come from like hovering on plays where it's like, okay, I could just go on this wave and farm up and split. But it's like, okay, I'm going to just chill here for an extra 5 to 10 seconds because someone's going to make a mistake. And someone makes a mistake and it's like, bam, let's go and fight here. And then I just win the game. And it's like, okay, I could have gone and done the quote unquote correct play or different play of side laning, But since I just stayed around for an extra 10, 15 seconds, whatever, lost some CS, I just won the game.
So pretend to side lane, get ready to collapse on the fight middle.
Yeah, because someone's going to make a mistake. It's just, someone will make a mistake, usually.
Well, at least we got to the root of where the NARAM comes from.
Yep.
Well, we are going to go now into the voice mail segment. Ricky, let us hear what the beautiful people of the world have left for us to hear.
What do they got?
The League of Legends community.
Good morning, Prophet Crumbz. It's Young Resi, baby, the voice of the motherfucking plebs, king of the plebs. Definitely had to call in while I'm driving to work today. So we're going to go through what's going on in my SoloQ games. First of all, my ego's been great. You know, TCS was great for me. I'm hopping into these games. Everyone's like, oh, my God, it's Young Resi. Love your TCS rep. Love your Twitter vids, bro. So, you know, my ego's doing real well. The not-so-good stuff. I'm back to work now, man. So I'm only playing a couple games every other day. And I'm not gonna lie to you, we got to get some of these fuckers out of these games because you'll agree with me, Crumbz. At a certain elo, you could tell, you know, who the trolls are and who the people who are soft inting are, and who are the people that had a bad day and they're just trying to take it out on us. And we need someone to watch these games from Riot, analyze them, and you know, manually handpick these trolls. Because if you talk too much shit, they automatically ban you when you get reported. So why isn't someone looking at the games, reading the hieroglyphics, looking at the signs, and banning the soft interest? That's number one. Number two, the things that I do like, I like the dragon changes, more agency. I feel more free. I feel like there's more initiative to shot call and try to lead my team to victory, because once you get that fourth dragon, the chances that you'll win are greater because now you got like some cool shit that you could use. You know what I'm saying? And you could play for a strategy. So I like that. The things I don't like, but I do like, I like Sett. You know, Stone Cold 316, the Stunna. You know, I like how he flips people around, but the truth is I like that he's more simple. I like that we took a step back and we made someone who's not that fancy. Because when you try to do too much cool shit, you know what I mean? You walk into a party with your pants off, you're not getting laid, man. That's just the truth. So when Riot comes out with these champions like Kushana and Angelo or whatever his name is, you end up with those kind of atrocities that nobody wants to deal with, man. And like Angelo, I read through his spells, man, and like I still don't know what the fuck is going on, and chances are...
Dude. All right.
Oh, there's more.
Well, Young Rizzy, what I gotta say to you is,
they cut my shit off, Crumbz. Your voicemail is too short. And, you know, you got to get an SSD to extend your voicemail capacity. Anyway, man, I was talking about Angelo. Beauty is in simplicity. I'm a 3-time challenger Shen God. You know what I mean? Sometimes people laugh at the fact that I play Shen, but you know what I mean? I play him for a reason, man. There's something cool about simplicity. So there's a lot of champions coming out, and I get it. It's a business in the end of the day. But we could slow it down, and we could release sometimes some simple champions that got some cool concepts that are up to date without having everything in the fucking game. You know what I mean? Like Camille has everything in the fucking game. It's a built-in Darius, Pike, everything. It's just a little too much, man. We don't need all that. Voice comm, man. Running away from voice comm is like running away from that one aunt that you see in parties that gives you them sloppy-ass kisses. You don't want to kiss her, man, but you know you're going to have to. So at some point we got to talk, man. The league community is a little bit older. They're more mature. I think we're ready for an optional voice comm. We have to, man. My hands can't keep up. Carpal tunnel is a bitch, man, and we got to talk. Other than that, man, League of Legends is great. Shout out to Trick2G as a beautiful daughter. I can't wait for pro play, man. I hope that there's pro play. Oh, shit, I forgot one thing. We need to incentivize SoloQ, man. There needs to be some reasons other than ego and pride to climb in SoloQ. Give me a standing fucking desk at 200 LP. You know what I mean? Fuck the backpack. I'm not, you know, that shit'll get me jumped. I ain't wearing no fucking League of Legends backpack, man. Give me some cool shit. Give me a fucking custom-made mouse. Give me I don't know, man, anything, man. Like fucking even a bed sheet that has shit on it. Anything, man. Give me some cool shit. Other than that, I can't wait to see what's happening in the LCS. We need to include more color casters in the color casting. Crumbz, you're one of them. Get Medios up in that bitch. You know, get Trick2G, get some other people, man. Maybe myself. You never know. Cut the check. Hey, I'm always looking for work, so call me. Other than that, it's Young Resi. I'm out, baby. Hey, Mark Miro, unblock me. I'm out of this bitch. Crumbz, I love you.
Wow, he really made the most out of that.
What a character.
Yeah.
What a character.
He really needed some help there. That's why he called the line.
He talked a lot about what we were talking about. Incentives, get the
Yeah.
voice comms.
He knows he's Young Resi. He's Shen God, 3-time challenger.
You know, he's been around. You know,
All right,
He's exactly what you were talking about. He's got a job. He can't play every day.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in, a few games.
That's why he's a Shen
starts
master.
tilting.
Yeah.
Because he can't type
because
that
he doesn't have time to keep up his mechanics. Like young Reggie's mechanics, honestly, like they're outdated. You know, like they're season 1 mechanics.
Season 1 mechanics.
They're season 1 mechanics, but you know, I can respect the typing. He types a lot every game.
True. Imagine having him in voice comms every game. It would save him so much time.
Yeah. See,
Maybe he would be such a better player.
I think voice comms are a good idea.
Yeah, we gotta learn some macro from young Reggie.
True.
Some SoloQ macro. He knows the SoloQ macro very well.
If you play Shen, you know at least more macro than the Darius.
Oh yeah, for sure. The ghost aftershock Darius.
What did you guys think about the other rewards? The mice, the standing desk.
I mean, I'm cool with the Shen bed sheet.
Yeah, the Shen bed sheet.
I'm cool with that. Like
a ribbon body pillow, you know.
Honestly, I would like a pillowcase right now.
Pillowcase,
like a new pillowcase.
Okay.
Yeah. Like a ribbon pillow. Actually, I don't like ribbon. No, I don't like that either.
A full body, like a normal.
A turtle body case.
Like a turtle
pillow.
Body case. What?
No, wait, pillowcase, not body case. Sorry.
A turtle body case.
Body case. I mean, okay, I agree though that at the end of the line, they should just make the incentive money, like.
Or what about a branded thing, right? A branded mouse. I think that's cool.
That's cool, but I mean, for everyone, I don't need a mouse. A lot of people don't need mice. Some people like the mice that they're using. Like, just give people money so they could choose what they want to get, because money is just like.
So Riot's not going to be able to.
I feel like giving away
Riot will not.
I feel like
giving
away.
Why though?
I mean, giving away money is like simple and like easy, but like
it's a big liability.
Yeah,
it says a lot too.
Yeah, I think giving away money is like kind of weird. And then like also, I feel like it'd just be better to like just give maybe like more incentives in terms of like more items, like for example, pillowcase.
I guess. I'm personally, I think like just knowing like North American culture is just like. The best result in terms of like using the incentive would be money, right?
Okay, well that's where I think like tournaments come in. Like that's where tournaments come in. Like amateur tournaments.
Yeah.
It's not like the ladder should be the one making you money. It should be like competing.
Okay, yeah,
you know, that's what I think.
So is that why you're in the lobby? You got a guy he's already flaming, right? I hate this. I'm not gonna try. I'm on tilt, guys. 9 losses in a row. What do you tell him to motivate him? You tell him, guys, we might be able to win some money here. There's some incentives here. Is that what gets this guy to play?
No.
But
no.
But like, well, what I was saying earlier with how you were saying tournaments is like, well, if you make SoloQ that like ticket to joining those tournaments, like having a SoloQ ranking that's relevant to join those tournaments, kind of like the TCS actually. If you think about it, I know that. Tyler 1 made the TCS an LP requirement. Like you have to have the highest LP averages of each team were competing in LCS. It wasn't to do with popularity or anything like that. It was just highest LP averages of teams competed. And I think like Riot should host amateur tournaments like that, using that LP requirement to, enter a tournament, for example, because there's no like there's no.
So then hold on, because Rezi's got a big point there. What do you do about the soft enters, the people that are actively saying, you know what, my team is a few LP away from your team to compete in this tournament. If I get on my Smurf and int you, you're done.
Well,
I'm running your LP down, and you ban my side account. Doesn't matter.
I mean, I liked his idea of having rioters watch games, and I've actually pitched it to rioters.
So have I, and you know what? It costs too much.
Well,
and there's no value.
They just said it's not likely. But that's
they gotta just assign one player, me, to like manually ban these players.
I volunteered.
I volunteered. I literally was saying give LCS veterans the like power to just.
But the thing is, like,
not just any LCS veteran, but like good standing.
I'm not gonna
players.
lie, like sometimes the judgment gets clouded, and like sometimes I might just get power hungry and be like, yo, I don't like you.
Yeah, I think everyone that might happen with a lot of people, but it's like
game was too much.
No, I'm joking. I'm not really like that. I'm very unbiased as a gamer.
Right. I think like
very
Riot
unbiased.
should do tests on people, whatever it may be. Like I don't know. We need to do something about soft enters and trolls, and this is in all regions. Like in Korean SoloQ, like I don't think it should be acceptable for people in Korean SoloQ to just AFK games either.
So you're trying to tackle a global problem then. This is not something.
Trolling.
It sounds like a way bigger issue
Personally,
to just fix like that.
I've been gaming for a really long time, and and any multiplayer game, there's always gonna be trolls and inters.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
a given, and there's no way to not have trolls and inters.
Yeah,
And every
mean,
game
that's
I've played
true.
in my
That's
entire
true.
life, like any online game that has gotten popular in my life, I've never had like games that were just not like there's trolls in every single game. You just had to deal with it.
But does that make it okay? Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't make it okay, but
It's
like,
the public pool. That's just the environment.
It is what
yeah,
it is.
I mean,
guess.
chill,
It is
guys.
what
Like, it is what it is. Like, we game with what we got.
Yeah,
No
We're getting
sweats.
paid to play video games. Life
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
Life
You know,
is fine.
Let's stop complaining.
sometimes
This
you gotta
this
just-
isn't a complaining podcast.
Yeah,
This is a
sometimes-
greenhouse podcast.
This is we're here in the greenhouse chilling. You know, I mean, like sometimes you do have to
chilling.
step back.
Look, he's like laid back now.
Yeah,
All of a
now I
sudden,
got laid back. You know, I put the mic back. I really just sit back and realize,
Sip
like,
your
hey,
corn glass.
you know, at the end of the day, like you're being paid. We're being paid to entertain you guys and play video games, and that's like the coolest thing we can do. You know, and that's the coolest thing that I think someone can do. And you know, we could reach you
I
guys
think
through
backflips are
SoloQ.
pretty cool.
I mean, you know, we got Shaco, you know, doing backflips on stream and whatnot. You know, shout out to him.
he can do a
but
backflip, huh?
he just stands up and does one.
Yeah.
Wow.
He
For subs, for
he used
subs,
to be a
for subs.
cheerleader,
Backflips.
like the
subs.
guy in the cheerleader group.
I need to go
yeah.
cheerleading, but I don't think I can do a backflip yet.
Wait, who wanted someone in FlyQuest wanted to learn how to backflip recently? Was it?
Yeah. All right. So we got to go to the next voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on point with this.
Yeah.
My name is Bryce. I'm from upstate New York, and my solo queue games have been shit. Top is a useless role, and Riot needs to do something about it.
Just
All right.
wrap your
awesome.
head
Yeah.
around the fact that somebody called in and just said those words. There was
Thank you,
somebody in
Bryce.
New York just
All right.
sitting
Well-
there saying,
Yeah.
"This sucks. Somebody needs to do something about it."
Thank you, Bryce from New York. I don't actually think top lane's in the worst spot ever right now in solo queue, but
You got to fix your champion pool, Bryce.
I was wondering if you should focus on one tricking, or you should focus on a wide variety of champions and, like, you know, trying to figure out how to solo carry, basically, through low elos to get to higher elos. So I'm saying, like, you just one trick Riven all throughout the elo to get higher, or you pick a wide breadth of champions to maybe get good at, so you can, you know, do counter picks and stuff like that to go through the higher elo. My name's Ethan. Yeah, thanks.
Nah, dude.
All right.
This is
All right,
this
Ethan.
is a question as old as League of Legends. You can get this answer just Googling it. Come on, dude.
It's actually hard to Google shit about League of Legends, man. You have a
I
hard time.
agree. I actually
It's
agree.
actually very
What?
hard to Google things about League of
like
Legends.
it's really hard to Google advice on League. Actually, I think.
Bro, like even for me, like
What?
the other day, I forgot what I was doing, but like I'm really good at like researching. Like I'm gonna be honest, like I'm very good at researching. I usually get anything I want through Googling because I'm a Google master. But actually, like the other day, I was like trying to figure out like what mechanic was it? It was like I think it was like an Aphelios mechanic where I was like just trying to. I looked up like many YouTube videos too, like. It got to the point where I couldn't like Google like what I wanted to learn, and then I just had to like go through YouTube videos to see if like anyone's doing this, and then I was just like, I can't find it.
Did you find it?
I don't remember finding it, so I probably did.
Could it be because Aphelios is so new?
It could be, but then like it even gets to the point where like if you want to be a research master, you got to go to OPGG and go to Korea, and then just look at SoloQ games. That's like how you research.
Yeah, or just use the search engine on YouTube as well. I think YouTube is a better resources than Google half
True.
the time, anyways.
yeah, but like to answer Ethan, I
answer
guess
Ethan. We
one
gotta
trick.
answer
It's
Ethan,
one
yeah.
trick.
you know, being a one trick to its question was being a one trick to climb, right? Or is focused on climbing by being a one trick.
I'm gonna say yes because I think one tricking is good to climb.
Yeah. For strictly climbing purposes, you will climb the fastest if you're honing your skill in one thing. That being said, though, it's very important that you find what you're actually good at to one trick it. So like,
I'm an anime. Was
he was an anime, you know, he was good at just hovering on people and just point and clicking them, you know. So if you're like trying to one trick like Riven, but you're more of like a Cho'Gath style guy, like you're gonna probably get hard stuck in silver on Riven, and it's okay to change your one trick though. Like you have to realize
find what you're good at.
Yeah, first find what you're good at. I knew I was good at playmaking and like being flashy and like going for these duels, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna one trick Riven, and it worked out. You know.
Another example is like I remember Crumbz Akali actually.
Wow.
From season 1, like Crumbz
Yeah.
Akali was insane.
Whoa.
He had like an 85% win rate or something on Akali.
Yeah.
And I just remember every time I see Crumbz Akali, I'm like, shit, I'm gonna lose.
You know what? I played Akali because I was inspired by West Rice. Because I
Yeah.
just looked at West Rice like,
Ah.
Yeah,
I
West
gotta
Rice.
figure out West Rice. And
I
then
pers-
immediately
West Rice taught everyone how to play Akali.
Yeah. And then she's now just this weird new champion.
Yeah.
I remember Crumbz Nidalee actually. Crumbz Nidalee was a.
That was not a.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. I don't have good memories of Crumbz.
I just said I have. All I said was I just have memories.
It was Akali, it was Kassadin, it was Sheikah, it was Lee, and Jackson Aurelia.
Okay.
That was it.
Yeah, those are some throwbacks.
I was really good at TF. I'm gonna say.
Which TF?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah.
Global ult.
So then that's a trend that
was fun.
seems to happen though more and more. New busted champion comes out, you can climb as quickly as possible. Wouldn't the best approach to climb also be to just pick the newest champion ASAP and try to ride new champ wave after new champ wave?
Nowadays, it's really seeming like I remember there were times where new champs came out and they were terrible. Like when, let me think.
Yeah, it was definitely like that for a while.
There were some. I can't think of like exact specific champs right now.
I got really angry at the point where they kept releasing champions like just like save people. For example, like it was like Kindred. Tam Kench. Like they just kept releasing champions that save people. I'm like, why? Why do we want to save people?
Shielding
I want to hurt people.
Yeah, it was a. Yeah, there were some rough metas. I remember Ardent meta. Oh my god.
Did we answer Ethan's question already?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
One
We can move on to the next.
I
question.
used to have. I just forgot everything I was gonna say.
Oh,
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Let's move on.
oh what's
All
up?
right, next question.
Yeah, I've got a question for WildTurtle. I just wanted to know, I've heard of a nickname that I Will Dominate used to call you a lot, and I was just kind of curious about what it was. If you could just call me back and let me know, that'd be great. Thanks.
Who is this?
You didn't leave his
You
number.
didn't leave your number or name, man.
No number or name.
But yeah, I don't think
Okay.
that's appropriate to talk about at this time of day. You might just have to ask Dominate personally about that. Just give him a $5 donation and ask.
Yeah.
Because I think that'll work out a lot better.
Do you ever come up with new names? Do you change your name often in SoloQ?
A little bit. I mean, right now, my I like to be called Lil Turtle right now.
Little Turtle.
But prior to that, it was like TTLE. But I really vibe with Lil Turtle right now.
Lil T.
Lil T.
Yeah, Lil T.
Okay.
I don't know. I just it's fun.
Yeah, that's a good.
It's fun being small, like a little turtle.
What about you? You don't change your name?
Not really. No. I just make anagrams of my name, like G Venry.
I feel like it's important when at least for pro players to like just play on their main accounts. Like I don't do that right now, but like I'm meaning to. Like I'm just gonna like let the season sit a little bit and then start playing on my main account. But right now I'm just like trying to get really high elo on a alt account.
Yeah, I think it is important for pro players to also just grind out on their main accounts too, and it's like
just to inspire more people.
Yeah.
I
mean, we should be setting the examples. That's the thing too. It's like if we're pro players, we're grinding solo queue a lot, and we're doing good. The people around us, like the one tricks or the people who are just improving, whatever, they're gonna improve faster if we're just like pressuring them to improve or like playing really well around them and stuff, like having a good attitude, stuff like that.
I think the biggest reason why like it was easy for me to climb in the past too is like I think when people like saw me in their games, they like try harder, I guess.
Yeah. People do
and,
that,
and that's like, but that's like if you get respect. Like, I felt like I got like a lot of my respect just because like I was high elo, and like back in the day, if you're like high elo, you're like first pick. Remember that? So whoever like first pick, you're just gonna get like respect from your teammates. And I think like when that thing happens, it's like easier to win games. And like for me, it was like the same. Like when I was like climbing too, and I used to like Big Fat GG was like my first pick sometimes. And I'm like, yeah, that's a free win. It was kind of like that,
maybe that would be a good thing to have again.
Yeah, and I feel
agree.
I feel like nobody like respects, like no one respects each other in like these champs like lobbies at all. And like I feel like back in the day, like you would have like a lot of respect for like your first pick because like he's probably gonna carry your team if you like give him resource and like try to help him out and just like he'll carry you.
Right, you already have like a hierarchy of who's doing what in the game. Like this guy will
just like win the lobby. Like the game should start from the lobby. And I feel like right now Champ Select is like I ban my champion, I pick my champion, and I'm AFK.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm doing. But back in the day, it was kind of just like, all right, we're gonna assign who's doing what, and then like we're gonna try to like draft the comp.
You gotta talk.
Yeah, you gotta talk a little bit.
Felt more like a team.
Yeah, you felt more like a team.
You join in.
Like the moment you get champs, like you felt like a team already. But like I feel like nowadays it's like I'm just gonna ban. I'm gonna hover over what I want, and I'm just gonna play. And like most of the times, people don't even try to like build off like the champion you're picking. You know, like no one's gonna try to combo with your pick.
I think that's a really, really smart point to bring up.
Yeah, and occasionally, like I'll have supports. Like I have some tryhard supports where they're like, okay, I'm gonna pick Leona because you're hovering over this champion, and I respect those players. And that's the way like support players should climb. Like you should see what your AD carrier is trying to play, and then just like try to figure out like what pairs with it.
Right. Not like I'm hovering Soraka. This
Exactly.
is it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna happen.
And that happens.
Yeah.
And that happens to me a lot. Like climbing in season 10, like I've had people play like Zyra, Bart, like all these garbage champions, and I'm just like, why? Why are you making this game so hard? I can like obviously I'm not playing on my main account, but like I can carry these games very easily.
Yeah,
that's what I need to stop doing with my Zyra friend.
Another thing I want to say about that, especially with solo lane right now, is because like counter picking in solo lane is like really, really, really easy right now, especially for top lane and even mid lane too. It's like if I pick Riven, and there's so much someone can pick on the other team to just make the game so hard for me, or just make me like not really be in a position to like carry. But it's like it's really important if I'm like first pick in champ select for me to ask like, hey, can I pick something for someone? Like, is there a champion pick that I could just pick here? Because it's like no one's first picking like solo lane right now, you know, especially maybe even in comp play, like, you know, it's really, really tough when even in competitive play, people are trying not to like reveal their solo lane picks unless they're like flexes and stuff, because like right now counter picking is just too strong. And a lot of games that I win in SoloQ is like, okay, hey, can I hover this champion for you? Can I pick this champ? It's like, okay, now I get counter pick. And it's like, okay, well, that just made the game so much easier, where rather than it's like, okay, well, I want to practice Mordekaiser this game, I guess I'll just pick him. Enemy team picks like Fiora or something, or like something that just like destroys me. And it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to be the primary carry of this game if I just willfully got into like this really nasty counter pick. And I think like solo lane usually isn't like that. But I've seen a lot of people complaining about this on Reddit in the community and stuff too, where they're just like, top lane is so unplayable right now. Like it's just all counter picks. But it's like, well, you guys like should communicate in draft more, like we were saying, like work around your team. Like, okay, can we hover champion picks and all that?
Start the game in champion select. And I think we're wrapping up on a really good point that you brought up. You guys have a very strong platform to influence SoloQ in the way that you would like it to be.
Yeah, so we're just going to get high elo and then start smashing on noobs.
There we go.
Yeah.
And offering voice comms and conversations inside the champion select, and making sure that you let one tricks know that they need to have a bigger champion
I'm pretty
pool.
cooperative in SoloQ, man. Like, yeah, I think I'm very cooperative in SoloQ. Like, I type to my teammates. I say, I'm like, yo, hey, let's chill a little bit. And then, like, we're losing. Like, yo, I can carry, chill a little bit.
Yep.
Well, guys, is there anything that you want to shout out, you want to plug? I know you have some matches coming up this week.
Shout out to FlyQuest.
Yep. Shout out to the
setting up this
greenhouse
awesome
and
podcast, and thank you guys for getting in the office and everything you guys do.
What time are your matches, though? I think some people want to watch.
It's 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Yep. Shout out to Adam and AJ, our video guys.
That's the only one I know.
You know,
5 p.m. on Saturday, guys.
The low key.
5 p.m. on Saturday, and just look at the Sunday schedule after the Saturday's game,
Yep.
because FlyQuest might be
Focus on the first objective.
FlyQuest might be out here smurfing this year.
Oh yeah.
Laugh out loud.
Might be.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming on the show. We'll see you guys next time.